Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my phone, she got me locked in on cup though.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Podium goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Borman and Bonnar, but Borman's got the inside.
Star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL for the 10th round of the PC F2 Championship, where, well, today we could actually have our championship crowned. Tomasz Gell with a 22-point gap to Max Wiesel. If he outscores Max by 6 points today, or if he gets first or second, regardless of where Max finishes, Tomasz could be champion. So, Tom, I know you haven't been here much this season, but I think you definitely got to be knowing that Tomasz has pretty much had a dominant season, hasn't he, in PSGL so far?
I mean, yeah, his campaign has been absolutely incredible, and if he can already seal it tonight, one race before the end, I think that's ideally what Tomasz Gall will be aiming for. Because of course, having that one race spared could help you a lot, because you can always have that one race where you are a little bit unlucky, maybe a safety car, maybe an incident, you never really know. So for him, the priority today will certainly be to get the championship all done today, and he can do that by out qualifying.
Oh, Torment, hello?
The main goal that Tomasz Gall has, just to have a good race and outscore Max Wiesel by 6 points.
Yes, you could take that for about 5 seconds. I don't know if it was my end or if it was down your end, but you're completely frozen. So I'm sorry that we didn't hear anything that you just said. But yeah, basically, long story short, Max has got to do a lot of work today if he wants to, at least be in contention to fight for it next week in Bahrain. Both Britain and Bahrain, they promote good racing. It's quite easy to overtake, but strategy-wise, Max, well, in past seasons, hasn't really done well at both tracks. So I can remember back for the past few seasons, he's always struggled at these two circuits. Obviously, back last season, I think we had Bahrain and Britain quite near the start of the season. Both of those races he struggled, so maybe this isn't the best for Max. But if he's worked out the strategy for this season, he's got himself a bit dialed in. He could hopefully come out with some decent points, and we'll have a little look at the track map where you can see the beautiful circuit of Silverstone.
Yeah, certainly. Around Silverstone, many layouts that could be held. Well, of course, we have been driving on the big layout pretty much of Silverstone. And Silverstone, one of the most iconic tracks on the official Formula One calendar. And it's also been on the PSGL calendar for a long, long time. It's been many seasons. It's always one track that you need to be good at if you want to just have a good run at the title in PSGL. The corner names have never really changed. The newest addition, of course, being the Hamilton Straight that has been added. But whilst we are saying this, the lobby is already coming towards a start. Drivers are now loading in to prepare themselves for the qualification session. And of course, it is Silverstone. And although overtaking may look easy, we have a big chance at a longer DRS train. So overtaking might actually be a little bit harder. So qualification will be very important, and it is going to be very close.
Indeed, and we can now get ourselves in towards the session. We can see it pop up very shortly on your screens. It's going to be a dry qualifying here, or at least a dry start to qualifying here in Silverstone. Obviously, lots of Reese Linton won last week in Miami. It was just dominant. He won by 7 seconds in the end to Lenny Pinter in second, and Keane going up in third. Keane had his 4th podium of the season. That's I think equaling the most podiums that we've seen from anyone this season. So very good job from him. Just never been able to quite get that second or first. But all I know is that this is a track that Keane's very quick at. One of Keane's first races was over in WR around this circuit, and it was dominant pretty much from him. He did a very good job, at least from what I can remember. So we'll see if he can, he's had a bit more time on PC now. We'll see if he can try and get himself even better and hopefully fight for a first or second place. But qualifying's underway. We've got a lot of people out on the circuit. Now, obviously, Tom, you are an engineer. What would you say the strategies for this qualifying session typically?
I mean, for the qualifying session, it is nothing special. It will be 3 runs on towards a soft set of tires. The main thing you have to watch out for at Silverstone is that you don't get all bunched up and surprised during the final run. Everyone wants to go as late as possible so you have more grip on the track, and then you can sometimes get caught out because the cars will all bunch up in the final sector. If you are seeing any grid penalties today, don't worry, the lobby will be restarting for that, because it is a high chance of that happening. But you see, all the drivers were out at the same time, and because Silverstone is a relatively long track, you are only able to do 3 runs, although whilst you at some tracks you may be able to do 4, or whenever you invalidate a lap time, you're able to pit and then do 4 runs. At Silverstone, it is strictly 3 laps and nothing really else will be happening. I'm just going to have to see who the first car is that is going to prepare themselves towards a lap time, and I do believe that is our Irishman, Fionn McKee.
It will be. Fionn obviously hasn't been here that much this season, but he had a P2 back in Japan at the start of the season, and since then he's only made a couple of appearances, so it hasn't been the best season for him at the moment in the standings. I believe he's around, he'll be yeah, P16, obviously with that podium really getting up in the standings. He had a P9 in Hungary, didn't attend for 4 races, got a 13th place in Spain, then unfortunately DNF'd back in Miami, so it's not been the best season for him so far. Tonight though, I know he always likes Silverstone, so we'll see if he can try and get himself some decent points here tonight. We can see now just heading through the final corner down towards turn 1 to begin the first lap of the session. Obviously flat through his first section, 7th into 8th gear, through to the right hand as you're coming towards Abbey, then back to left at Farm curb before you hit turn number 3, brake just before that 50-metre ball, throw the car in down to 3rd or 4th gear, get back on the podium, fold the car in towards this next section at turns 4 and 5. Now you'll get some DRS down that Wellington straight in towards Brooklands corner, so you can just use all that straight line speed to help you end that first set off. We'll see what that first set will be from Fionn McKee. It will be a 27.050, very nice opening set to there for Fionn as he heads through in towards Luffield and Woodcote. Yet again, want to take a bit of a later apex here. Don't tuck yourself to that inside on, that could definitely cost you some lap time. Exit now through towards Woodcote at the right hander before you prepare yourself down. There's still a bit of a straight towards Cops corner, so here you just want to go right to the left hand side, just throw the car in, try not to turn too much to the understeer, and then just board the car around, get back on the podium, head through in towards the Maggotts and Beckett section. Yet again, pretty much flat throughout the first part of this corner before we head dead to 7th. Then you shift down towards 6th gear, get back on the podium, a little bit wide there for Fionn. Could have definitely got that a little bit nicer if he was a little bit further on in the session, I believe, when the track was a bit more evolved. You can see a 101.779 for the splits in the first and second set. In towards Stowe at turn 16. Yet again, just try and throw the car in, keep as much speed as you can through that section before you come down in towards the final couple of corners at the chicane. Just throw the car in yet again, just try and throw everything at it as you can. Get back on the pen nice and early, try not to run too wide on the exit. As you exit the final corner, what will the lap time be? It'll be 1 minute 24.739.
Certainly a very good lap time to start off, and already Tycho Hardy with an incredible lap time, doing a 0.4 already right off the bat. That is very good. We got an Aston Martin coming towards the line. I do believe that is Jan Hallader with a 0.7 middle sector. Let's see what he can do. Meanwhile, Max Wiesel coming towards the line with a 24.4, and that's exactly what he needs to do if he wants to fend off Thomas Gall. And talking about Thomas Gall, where is he himself placed? He is now coming up towards the final turn as well. Let's see where Thomas Gall can place himself all the way up towards 4th place. Not yet behind Max Wiesel, but very close to it.
Indeed, we can see Andre Tarby can come through. That'll be Tamash's teammate goes ahead of Tamash there into P3, and that'll be Lukomsky into the top 2 there with a 0.496. We've got a few cars left to come through. Going to go on board with the Mercedes and Rishan Jacobs. Very unfortunate season from Rishan. Hasn't scored any points this season as Reese Linton goes into the top 2. Where will Rishan go? He will go into P12 there just behind Race in Tiaz. We'll have Sergio Sereno come through. Canedo on the board. He'll go into P9. Now Liam Stevens, the final car of the train to put on a laptop, would be the top 10 there for Liam Stevens. Obviously, Sergio Sereno hasn't had the best season himself either. Obviously, missed quite a few races in the season due to, I think it was an issue with his PC. He had to wait a couple of weeks to get that fixed, so he's back up and running, and so far doing a decent job. And also, Yorick, thank you for what is that, joining the channel, I think it is, or something. You become a member. Thank you for becoming a PSGL super fan. I saw that last night. About 5 people did it, and well, we've already got one here today. So Yorick, thank you very much, and welcome in. I hope you're doing well.
It's pretty much a gifted sub, like on the purple live streaming thing, which we do not mention on here. But oh yeah, that's incredible rivalry there that you've just angered. But Max Wiesel currently being on pole position, doing exactly what he needs to do. He needs to make sure that Thomas Gall does not outscore him by 6 points, and if he qualifies himself on pole, he certainly does so. Max Wiesel, of course, one of his strong suits being the qualification session, but behind him he does have 2 orange cars, as in Ries Linton and Simon Lukomsky. They're all putting in very competitive lap times, and Tycho Hardy as well placing himself into that 0.4 crew. And a 0.4 is a very, very competitive banker lap time. If you look at the F3 qualification session there, you saw that the pole time was around a 0.3, and once the track is getting quicker and quicker, these lap times will be getting a lot faster as well. So already being on a 0.4 banker lap time is a very good start. We always have to watch out for the people that have unfortunately invalidated or made a mistake on the initial lap times, and this time round it is Louis Welsh and Lenny Pepinter who have yet to set a lap time, and they will always still make a big jump. Lenny Pepinter, of course, one of the drivers who has been in a little bit of news recently, especially one of his teammates, but all he needs to do is just put that out of his head and perform for himself today. He's currently in 20th place, but for the next run, he definitely wants to improve on that.
Indeed, and well, I think the weather will stay dry, but I've had to notice that it's getting quite cloudy outside. It's getting very overcast, so I'm not sure if we've got any rain coming. I don't think we have, but it is starting to get a little bit more overcast. Now, I don't know how much that will affect the cars, but I'm sure it will have some sort of minimum effect either way. Obviously, with it being less sunny, as we can see, Louis Welch now prepared to begin his next lap. Obviously, took a win back at, I believe it was in Japan. He took a victory, or it was in the next round. I can't quite remember where. No, it was in Qatar, sorry, round 2, where he took his victory. He did a very good job, and then after that as well, he hasn't really been the strongest so far this season, missing a couple of rounds himself recently. So we'll see what he can do here in Britain. Coming through towards turn 1 now, 10 minutes after the session. So he still has time to get another run in afterwards. Probably has the time to get another 2 runs in afterwards if he can time it perfectly. So Kim team heading down now in towards turns 3 and turn number 4. Get back on the pole. There'll be a few cars on out laps. Hopefully that comes at the way. Yes, it did. That would be one of the AlphaTauris. So that would have been, I believe, Tycho Hardy. As now we can see Louis Welch exiting that first sector. What will it be? It'll be 27.040. Very nice there from Louis Welch so far as he heads now down in towards Luffield. Just wanting to take a bit of a wide line as you prepare yourself for Wood Cup very shortly at the right hand up. Just back on the power now, flat out through this little bit of a straight where I believe this is one of the start-finish straights of some of the series in motorsport. As he heads in towards Cops now, just throws it to the right, but flat on the power now. In towards Max and Beckett. We'll go on board with the Red Bull as he heads through. We'll see what type of line he takes. As again, just wanted to tuck up to the apexes, shifting down the gears when you need to. Down to gear 6 as he gets back on the power. A bit of a slide that could have definitely ended in a bit of a spin. So looking for him to catch the car. 101.63. That's very competitive so far from Louis as he heads now in towards Stowe at turn 16. Yet again, just throwing the car in back on the power, trying to run one, and he's done so. And that will be his lap time over. I believe a 101.6 in the second sector is very strong, isn't it, Simon?
It certainly could be for Sector 1. Around a 0.9 would be that. You have done a pretty good first sector time, but the first sector certainly does not say it all. You have the middle sector, and especially the last sector where many mistakes happen, because then you know the pressure, and you really only got one real combination of corners. And whenever you just enter the club and Ville area, most drivers just start to panic a little bit and start to make the sliders of mistakes. And even the sliders mistake that can just cost you 1 or 2 tenths. And if you just look at the current times, if you, for example, lose 2 tenths in a Max Wiesel situation, you would be all the way, maybe even outside of the top 10. So that just really shows how little a mistake of 2 tenths could make. But once more, we got Phil McKee, who was the first driver out towards a lap and coming in towards that first sector, in towards Village. Want to break an ice and early, not drift all that much, and don't want to hit those big curbs. Thomas Gall, picking up a penalty, confirming that we will indeed be getting a restart. So just ignore those illegal blocking penalties, unless drivers get 3, then it will be a little bit dangerous. Phil Nikito coming towards the first sector split. Can he do a 0.9 this time round? No, again a 0.0 for the Irishman, not improving on his first sector. 28 thousandths of a second slower than that he was before, coming through towards Luffield, in towards Woodcote now on the national start finish straight, where they do mostly race starts on the shortened layout, where you go during Beckett and Beckett, you go towards the right hand side a little bit earlier on, but this time round we do indeed race on the full variation of the track. And this time around we are coming towards Beckett, just this beautiful left right corner combination. We've seen it before, but it's never so great as we see it on this track. Going towards the second sector split now, 51 thousandths of a second quicker. Won't be a massive improvement, but like I said before, a few thousandths of a second improvement, or maybe even a tenth or two, will gain you massive amount of places. Now towards the final sector, this is make or break moments for your lap. You want to brake at the right moment, not miss the apex on the left hand side, and carry as much momentum through towards the final corner. And let's see what Phil McKee can do when he comes towards the line. He only improves with 40,000 of a second and does not gain a position.
Indeed, and on board Max Wiesel, he does improve there to a 3.76, gained a lot of time in that funnel sector, and also that funnel sector on my eyes looked quite scrappy itself, so he's definitely got more time he can gain. We got Jost Nordholt coming through, he didn't improve on his lap time. We got Legend Rosenberg up into the top 12, very nice for him to get up to there. We got Togo Hardy and separating McLaren's King going up into P2 there, ahead of Reese Linton by just 9 thousandths of a second. We got more cars coming through, and he's trying to find who's coming through. We got I think Lenny Pepinta's just started a lap. Tamash Gal, he's coming down as well in towards his final sector. We'll see what he can do. Can he get himself up towards provisional pole? We know he's very quick here in qualifying. Normally it's him and Max Wiesel fight for the top 2. What can Tamash Gal do? He goes up into third there with a 0.435. We've got the 2 Mercedes coming through. Richard Jacobs into the top 7 there with a 0.503. We've got Liam Stevens coming through as well. He's up by half a tenth in the middle set. Can he try and find a decent improvement to pull himself into the top 10? No, he won't. He'll stay P12. Didn't find an improvement in the end. Not ideal there for him. We got, I think Louis Welch is Louis Welch is yet again beginning the lap, so he's completely out to sync to the rest of the field. He's heading down now in towards the final chicane. But obviously, Richard Jacobs, we know, hasn't scored points along with Andrei Tarabikin this season. So these two, sitting in 7th or 8th, are on a possibility of being able to score points, which would be brilliant for them to end off this season. Obviously, we've still got one more round, but you'd like to get some points in at least before the final round of the season. But obviously, in the top 4, we've got Max Wiesel, Tamás Gál, Keane Golden, technically our top 3 fighting. Well, Keane's not really fighting for the championship, but he's technically fighting for P2, depending on where Max Wiesel goes. But Tamás Gál needs to finish in P2 or P1 to take the championship. If he finishes 3rd, Max needs to score no points. So Max currently being on provisional pole. I can't see him scoring no points. So Tamás has still got a lot of work to do if he wants to take that championship away here in Britain tonight.
Certainly so, and the race isn't decided, or the points are not decided during the qualification session. You maybe get 1 point for pole position, which I don't even know is true, which is pretty bad as a PSGL commentator, but we just brush over the fact that I did not know that. But Louis Welch currently being on a lap time, looking to end finally himself putting in a valid lap time. Coming through towards Beckett, which surprises me is that he goes all the way down towards 6th gear. I know that many drivers use it in 7th, and by going down in 6th gear, maybe a little bit too high in the revs, causing him to go wide and invalidate his lap time. So 2 lap times done from Louis Welch and 2 times an invalidated lap. Now, is Silverstone not the easiest track to do on a controller? But he certainly is just struggling more and more. And as much as we love Silverstone, it is an incredibly competitive scene for the qualification. But in the race, you always need a little bit of luck to be on your side. And that's why it is always going to be important what happens here. You see drivers making a big undercut, and then you just need to hope that other drivers follow. If you get stranded there, you are pretty much all the way on your own. And an overcut could very well work here as well, because then you're able to just cut your way through the field. And starting on the mediums or the soft tires will be the big question for the race, but that's something we don't have to worry about for now, because there are already a few drivers out who are preparing themselves for the final run. First person who's out is Daniel Kouwer.
Yeah, we've also got, I think we've actually got a few people in front of them now. We've got one of the Aston Martins being Jan Halliday, and also we've got Jay Van Bussel as well coming through into the final course. So some people very early out for the final runs here in the qualifying session. We'll go on board with Jerry. Now the question is, Tom, how come they go out so early? Because I never see people go out this early. Normally it's about 2 minutes they go out, not at 4 or, well, it was pretty much at 5 minutes, wasn't it, for them to start their laps now?
Silverstone's longer lap, but it could be that they want to avoid an invalidation. Or they just want to make sure that they don't get caught up by all the traffic in the final sector. But they should watch out that they don't go all that early, because like Daniel, oh, it's not Daniel, it is his Ferrari teammate, excuse me, it is Bradley. Bradley should just watch out that he doesn't get caught up by the amount of traffic cars who have just recently come out the pit lane. So you just need to hope that the engineers are just telling them, watch out, there's a Ferrari behind you on your lap. But it is indeed interesting to see that they are going out so early, but it is not all that surprising. I do not believe that it is all that much marbling. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's just purely trying to avoid as much traffic.
Yeah, and I suppose with the tyres as well, it's probably not very wise to go for 2 runs, is it, with these tyres? I think if you do 1 lap and you make a mistake, probably you aren't going to find much of improvement if you go for it again, because of the tyres being... Well, the degradation's a little bit high here, I think, compared to all the tracks, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe the reason is that they're trying to get a cheeky slipstream off of Hanger Straight by a car that's preparing for a lap time. That's the only reason I can really think of it. You got a Haas coming up ahead, and he's just avoiding. Oh, it's raining! It's raining! That's the reason they've gone out early. Bradley Oldham invalidating his lap time, but it is raining. So indeed, it is a very valid reason that these cars have gone out so soon. Rain. That's the answer we were looking for.
Yeah, well, I said it could be. I didn't think it actually would. With 2 minutes left to go, Andre's back into the bit. So I think now that the track is done for, I don't think we'll see many improvements. We've got Tycho Hardy. We'll go on board with him as he heads then towards turns 3 and 4. Yeah, the rain's coming down. There's definitely going to be no improvements being made in this session whatsoever. So it looks like at the moment it will be Max on pole, but we never know. We could see something happen towards the end. We're going to go on board with Tycho Hardy. Keane's retired in the pit, so he knows he's done. Everyone's actually entering back into this before starting their laps. Yeah, Tycho's down by 4/10. So the track is wet. There's no more laps being set in this session at all. So it'll be Max on pole at this rate, ahead of Lukomski and Tamás Gál. And, well, now we know why some people went out at 5 minutes, because the rain was arriving. Now, something tells me that must be approximate, because surely if we knew it would be raining, they would have all been out early, wouldn't they?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, on the telemetry, you should be able to know by the minute exactly when it starts to rain. So it's interesting to see that a few drivers have indeed made this mistake. And the track is certainly too wet because you had Daniel Kau, who was on a lap time but already lost 3 tenths in the middle sector and then has decided to bail on his lap time incomplete. So indeed, this will be your final standings already, which Max Wiesel doing exactly what he does need to do. Here we don't really see anyone on an improvement. Jerry van Bussel is a lot slower. Louis Welsh as well, not really improving. Doing a 0.8 in the first sector is not really what you want to do. So yeah, I think it's quali over.
Yep, and Louis Welsh unfortunately couldn't get a lap time set, so that's him going to be starting at, well, definitely starting at the back of the grid, as there's no way he's going to get himself onto a 24.9 in this session. So yeah, it's bit of a shame for Louis, and also some of those further down at the back. Obviously, the two Ferraris, Bradley and Daniel. Bradley got a podium a couple of rounds ago. Daniel's also been quite a consistent point scorer, so it's a shame to see both of those taking at least no top 10 here in qualifying. It's also a shame for F7R, with Jerry, Daniel, Blackbox and Legend all 15th or below. Obviously, we can see near the top with Tiger Hardy in the top 6 for F7R. Obviously, it's a bit different here. They're not always going to be working as a team, but you know, it is a bit of a shame for those drivers that are in S7R. So we've got Thomas Gall on track, we've got Richard Jacobs along with Louis Welch. Obviously they'll be heading back into the pits very shortly to conclude their qualifying session, and then we'll be able to see the results at the end. And Phil McKee did cross the line with a 0.699. Obviously, oh wait, he improved on my screen. That must have been a bit of a glitch. It says here he improved by 40 thousandths, but I don't see that as a possibility.
We can quickly check race director, I guess, whilst you just do some more research. But as we can see right now, no, he's not completed his final run. So the 40,000 of a second improvement was indeed for his first towards the second run. We already see the lobby as Louis Welch leaving, so hopefully we should get the lobby back up very shortly. You see just Thomas Gall waving quickly towards the fans who will, for him, hopefully be congratulating him after he wins the title tonight. But let's hope for him that indeed is the case and that nothing crazy happens, because, I mean, at Silverstone we've never seen any drama regarding any championship fights. So, yeah.
Indeed. So, pole position will be to Max Wiesel there with a 1 minute 24.376 ahead of Shimon Lekomsky, only 11 thousandths back, separating the top 2. Then Tomasz Gell will be in third ahead of King, going up in the top 4. And Reese Linton there rounded at the top 5, less than a tenth, separating all those drivers in the top 5. Then we have Tiger Hardy in P6, Richard Jacobs in the top 7, with Andre Tariq in 8th, Only Pipinto 9th, and Joost Norok in the top 10. Then we have Sergio Sobrino, Liam Stevens, Jan Halliday, Theo McKee, Legend Rosenberg, Bradley Holden, Racing Tiaz, Daniel Kaya, Jerry Van Bussel and Louis Welch round at the whole grid. 5 tenths separated in the full grid, or at least the full 19, with obviously Louis Welch not getting a lap time on the board. I'd say so far this season, from some of the qualifiers we've seen, this is actually quite close.
Yeah, it is indeed pretty close, but that's mainly due to the reason that there are no real corners to make or break your lap time. Only in Sector 1 and in Sector 3 are really corners where you can make major mistakes. It is all high speed. That means that you can miss an apex and miss a few hundredths of a second, but you can never just really screw up unless you really screw up and spin. But normally that causes everyone to be very close towards each other. You also see that on tracks that are a little bit shorter, tracks like Austria or Brazil, where everyone's very close towards each other. But indeed, on a long track such as Silverstone, it is always interesting to see everyone be so close towards each other. But the nature of this track actually allows you to do so.
Yeah, I think... Oh, my camera's a little bit too zoomed out. I think the good thing, though, about this track is the racing can be quite good, especially at the start of the new stints. Obviously, a lot of people go on to a set of medium, some onto soft. But I think the good thing about that is there's always quite a variation when people pit. So there's always battling going on. If it's not battling for first, they're battling for second. If they're not battling for second, they're battling for every other position on the circuit. So I think that is a good thing to see about this circuit. Obviously, we've been here every season apart from season 33. So this is our 7th round here at Silverstone. I've been here since season 30, and I've never ever had a bad Silverstone race here at PSGL, and that's been in the last 4 races. So fingers crossed, we have yet again another interesting Grand Prix. This season itself as well has also been quite interesting. I mean, you know, we've had lots of different people on the podium. I think altogether we've had about 13 people sit on the podium, which is a great thing to see. So, you know, over half a grid on the podium. And hopefully today we could see some more people making their first times on the podium, or maybe we could see some people who have already been on the podium before try and get themselves their first win of the season. We're going to have the new session loaded very shortly. We're going to have a quick words from our sponsor at GTO Mega, and we will see you very shortly. Right, welcome back, everybody. From the advert, obviously, make sure if you do buy any of the GTO Mega products to use the PSGL code at checkout, so you get 5% off. It helps them, helps us, which is always a good thing to see. Obviously, everyone being able to help each other, and also it gives you 5% off. It might not seem like a lot, but over time, if you make more and more purchases, it will eventually add up. The session's open. We've got 18 people in there, so just waiting for a few more to join and get themselves ready to start the race. I think we've got 2 more yet. We one of the Williams left, and then obviously Louis can get the grid sorted out and we can get underway for the British Grand Prix. Now, weather-wise, it's dynamic, so we don't know what's going to happen, meaning it could be absolutely anything unless Lewis changes it towards the start of the race and we end up being dry or we end up being wet. But with it being a wet qualifying, surely some of the weather will carry over into the race possibly, won't it?
Well, I mean, it is Great Britain, so you never know really what it is going to be like with the weather. I mean, it's just like the Netherlands, really.
Yeah.
The weather is not that great, but that's what you get with European climates. But a little bit of rain would be very interesting. Maybe the race being halfway dry, halfway wet, just maybe a little bit of a curveball being thrown would be really interesting. But the one person that doesn't want it to be interesting is Tabascal. Just wanting a boring race, just to be able to score his points and then move on from there. But the people that are a little bit further back, maybe even Louis Welsh himself, certainly would love to see a very interesting race to happen. Strategy wise, let's talk about that a little bit because you can realistically start on all 3 tires.
Yeah.
On the softs, you will be making a bit up towards the mediums around lap 9 or 10, maybe even a little bit earlier, 8 being the absolute earliest. To try to make an undercut, work together, but then eventually you will have the mediums, people who start on the medium tires, catch up to you because they will be working together in a big train and then pitting towards a set of the soft tires. And then you also got people that may be a little bit further back on the hard tires trying to make that strategy work or maybe get very lucky with a safety car. So it is, at the end of the day, really up to maybe a little bit of luck and at the end, and just looking at what your engineers recommend you for strategy. And whoever has the best strategy at the end of the day will be making a lot of positions.
Indeed. And obviously, Max on pole, obviously, if he wins the race, in order for him to stay in the championship, I believe Tamashka has to be 4th or lower because Max needs to outscore Tamashka by 6 points to keep himself in the championship fight going to the next round. I think realistically we know that's probably not going to be going Max's way, but well, whenever the name Max is involved, anything can happen. We saw that back in 2021. So maybe, just maybe, Max could still take this way. But I think Tamash, all he needs to do here is just focus, keep himself calm, and just go for it. If he finishes in the top 3, Max wins. Yes, it could go to next round, or if that happens, then Tamash just knows all he needs to do is score at least like 1 point in his fine. So hopefully we can see, obviously, Tamash or Max at the time. I don't think he can even be close to it. But the key thing is, everyone behind is also very close. I think there's about 10 points separated about 5-6 drivers. So, obviously you're not fighting for the top 3, but if you're in 7th and you get yourself in the top 4, it's a bit of bragging rights. Obviously, we know everyone in this scene can be quite egotistical. So to be able to jump from P7 and stand to P4 in 2 races is definitely something you can try and use to boost your ego, which I'm sure many drivers in this lobby would definitely do. I could name at least probably half the grid that would use that for their ego. But hopefully we don't need to keep waffling on anymore. We can get ourselves in. We've got everyone in the session. We've got Louis sorting lobby out now. So yes, I think temporarily we'll be starting ourselves, getting ready to start the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, and personally, we're talking about the point system, and that's PSGL using a different point system. It's something the point system that I really love. 16 points for the race winner. You really get rewarded for a race win because you get 12 points, I do believe, if you get second. So it really rewards you for making those extra risks and trying to go for that win. And besides that, it is still the top 10 that get points, but a little bit closer towards each other, and that does really make these tight championship either battles or maybe fights for positions a little bit further down. Which I certainly love with the real life point system. It may be a little bit more spread and makes it a little bit more boring. So the way PSGL has done that, the point system, which they've been running for a few seasons now, has been absolutely fantastic. And in my opinion, they should definitely continue with it.
Yeah, I think with the point system being a lot closer than RLF1, if someone runs away with 3 wins in a row, they're not going to be gapped by 24 points. It's going to be 12 max, so it gives them someone else a chance to try and catch up. So I think that's what makes the championship fights quite close. Obviously, some tiers, I've looked back through the championship battles. There's not much going on since I think the past 3 rounds because some people are just dominant in that tier. But generally, we can see quite close battles between the field. I know at the start of the season, at least for the first 5 rounds, there was 6 or 7 drivers that could take the championship. It was that close. Obviously, as the season's gone on, and we've seen lots of Tamash and Max be just really consistently quick. Obviously, they've just kind of broken away from the pack naturally, but those third and below have still got quite a lot to battle for. So the good news is, though, we're going to get ourselves underway very shortly. We've got 13 seconds left, so we'll move ourselves back in towards the session. There we are. And you can see now all the drivers getting ready up, and we can get our way back into the session. And well, Tyrone, I know it's a bit early to predict, but who do you think is going to take the win to here tonight?
I mean, you asked the rookie commentator who has not done a single PSGL BCF2 race yet. My magic ball would say it is Thomas Gall, who has done much practice, recently departed from Race Clutch as well as many others. But he's got a few things to really prove to everyone else, and he wants to carry the title with him. He probably has done plenty of practice, and I think it is his time to shine and to bring it home, which England unfortunately didn't do. But let's just quickly move over that.
Yes, we'll see what it could do. And actually, it's a bit cloudy. Now, that could throw a curveball into it if it does rain. It could either go dry, or it could go rain, or it could stay where it is. But with it being overcast, you don't really know what's going to happen because it can go either way. So, we have now the long, boring wait where we have to try and wait until we can see all the cars on the grid. It's always a long wait, and it's always unpredictable. Sometimes you wait here 10 seconds, sometimes you wait in here over a minute, sometimes we've been here 3 minutes, and sometimes you're thinking, well, do we restart the lobby? No, we never do. So we end up sitting here waffling on for 3 minutes long. So we can see all the pit crew along the right-hand side, lots of different tyres being used. I don't know if that actually means anything with all the different tyres. You can see in the Ferrari garage we've got a soft. In the Red Bull garage we've got a medium. I don't think it means much, but yeah, at least we can see the tyres. It's something that EA have actually done to actually make some sort of aesthetically pleasing part of the game. We can see all the viewers at the top there lining up ready to watch what could be either a chaotic turn one or a very boring turn one. That's how Silverstone is. It's either chaotic or boring, one of the two. I like a chaotic start. I know it normally ends up in a crash, but we'll put that aside, okay? It's entertaining. That's what we're here for, entertainment.
I don't think it is. It has any match to what actually happens in the game because both Ferraris are not currently selecting soft tires. So I think it is just for visual looks, but it would have been funny if you just see the tire compound change and that way know whatever the person is starting on. It would be a good thing to add for EA, but once again, they can add stuff like that and not add an anti-cheat. So, but hopefully next year, like on a fully new game, a new platform, and hopefully a new engine, we shouldn't be running on a goat from 2014 again.
Yes, hopefully not, but it's EA. They present us with something surprising every single year, whether it's good or bad. It's one of them, and this year, to be fair, has actually been surprisingly well. And now we can get ready for the round 10 of the PSGL PCF2 Championship. It's going to be 5 lights, Max on pole, Lukomsky in second, and they head out for the British Grand Prix. Who gets a better start? I think it will be Max. Yes, he does have a really good start, but Sim Lukomsky sits right behind in towards turn 1. King going up also getting a better start than Tamash Gal. Tamash going a little bit wide at turns 1 and 2. That allows King to try and get a run down towards turn 3. Can't get himself quite alongside. Further back, we can see Lenny Pepin to make a move with Joost Noordijk there, fighting side by side, the Aston Martin and the Haas. We've got Jan Hade also slightly in behind. We've got, that'll be Theo McKee dropping down a few positions there, down to P14 there. So look at the tyres that the drivers have selected. It'll be softs and mediums throughout the whole grid. No one on the hard compounded tyre. Bit of contact in towards turn 7 nearly, with a few drivers going 3 wide in towards turn number 7 at Brooklands. That'll be Andre and Joost going side by side through in towards Woodcote Corner. We've got further up, we can see King going up now, trying to catch up to the back of Tamash Gal. Obviously, we can see as well, that'll be Andre fighting on the back of Joost, and Rishan also on the set of softs. He needs to get through on Reese and Tycho as soon as he can to keep up with this soft train, because eventually they'll just run away from the rest of the field and try and pull themselves as far. And with them being on softs and mediums time, does that mean it could possibly remain in the rest of the races? Rishan makes a brilliant move in towards Max and Beckett's.
That could certainly be possible, but we do not know that yet. Engineers having that telemetry system already, but look at that. Joost Noordijk, for example, being now on the ERS, want to burn as much as possible before the DRS gets turned on, because now he can really still make those overtakes happen, but Joost Noordijk not really doing a lot there. Further back, maybe a few overtakes in this field. McKee was up the inside of, I do believe it was up the inside of Black Box, or Legend, actually. Excuse me for that, but no real moves really happening, and the top 5 staying the exact same. It is only Richard Jacobs making a move on Tycho Hardy, and Joost Noordijk gaining 2 positions, was Andre lost 2. Otherwise, the position would be the exact same. Richard Jacobs making an overtake up the inside of Ries Linton, and he is really desperate to make those moves happen really early.
He's indeed Rishon, and they're trying to catch up to the back of Keane. Gondorf going through in towards turn 4, couldn't quite get the line in towards that corner to try and launch an attack. He's about 5 tenths back, so he needs to try and gain into that top 4 train a little bit more if he wants to try and make some overtakes. Right, further back we've got people moving at that 6th stream, trying to also prepare themselves for overtakes possibly in towards the Brooklands corner. We've got Liam Stevens on the back of Andre Tarabukin as they head through in towards Luffield corner. Lenny Papinter as well into the top 9, got himself ahead as well of Andre Tarabukin. Andre down to P10, not the ideal start at the moment for the driver. We can see further back as well, Ray Simtiaz on the set of the soft. He's not really made that many moves either. I would have expected to see him in the top 10 probably already, as the softs are a lot quicker than the mediums at this point in the race. But Tyreekin closing in quickly to the back of Lenny Papinter as they head through in towards Max and Beckett yet again. We'll see if any moves can be made between those two or anyone further behind as well, as they all file through this narrow section of track down towards Stowe again. Obviously normally the DRS, but we're a lap too early before the DRS is activated. We can see Bradley Holden gaining in, we can see Liam Stevens gaining in, but no one enough to get alongside to make a move in towards Stowe corner. But Bradley's held himself with Liam in towards Stowe. Is he got enough to send a lunge in towards the chicane? No, he can't. He's a little bit further back, nearly hit the back of Liam into there. We've got going to be Jan Herde following Ray Simtiaz for P13. Race went for a move, couldn't quite get it there. Max Wiesel takes the fastest after the race with the 28.3, and now the DRS is enabled, so we'll see if we can get any more moves being made in towards the next few corners. Yet again, Holden right with Liam Stevens in towards turn 3, pulls the inside line, tries to get himself ahead of the Mercedes, breaks deep, bit of a slide that's cost him lots of time through there, couldn't quite get the overtake done, and now that brings Jan Herde right to the equation.
Certainly so. You see the top 5 being on the soft tyres. Besides that, everyone else on mediums. Besides Reese, who just wants to make a move. He's on my screen. He's still called as Black Box, so we may be calling the same driver 2 different names. But that is the unfortunate thing of being new towards BC. But the soft runners wanting to work together as much as possible, and expect Simon Lukomski and Max Wiesel to start swapping positions every single time now on the Hanger Straight. So the reasons for this is that you can cool your engine and that you don't get surprisingly overtaken by Thomas Gall, who is in 3rd place. And I think Thomas Gall will only want to take 2nd place if he can take it away from Max Wiesel, because that is what he's looking for. If Thomas Gall finishes inside the top 2, he is the champion, and that is exactly what he will be looking for. But you see, just still saving the engine, not wanting to overheat it as soon as possible. That's also the reason why you see many lines being taken on that long straight. Bradley Holden, meanwhile, going up the inside of Liam Stevens and making that move beautifully happen up the inside, and now coming towards the end of the lap time, just trying to control and make some positions casually, but not really a lot happening because everyone around you being on the same strategy. The only thing you can make or break is on the ERS, and how much ERS do you really want to burn overtaking someone so early on in the race?
Indeed, as you can see as well, Keane's actually closing quite clearly on Tamash. Tamash doesn't look too strong at this point in the race, so this isn't good for him at all. Keane could be looking to try and close in and make him an overtake ahead of the Alpine. Obviously, Richard Jacobs as well, seen in this battle for P5. He's also probably not really going to be keen on making moves. He's just keen on staying in that battle with those guys ahead and just keeping himself along. Obviously, trying to defend as well from this into once those mediums get into power. That's still quite a few laps away before the mediums become the dominant tyre. Obviously, for now, we can see there's a 6-tenth gap between Richard and Reese, and surprisingly, Reese isn't really dropping that far off the back of the soft runner, so this isn't too bad for those running the medium tyres. As we can see, Ray Simtiaz getting himself ahead of Jan Herde finally, after 2 laps of trying to do so, to pop himself into P13 now. Unleashed to try and get after Liam Stevens in P12. Liam also not having the strongest start, down to P12. Did get a couple of moves at the start, but has dropped back since, so we'll see if Race can try and launch an attack. Jan Herde still, though, keeping with him quite strongly. And Tom, is these softs normally, because normally on some tracks we see the softs pull away instantly, but here they're really not looking that much stronger at all than the mediums at this point.
Yeah, I think the reasoning for it is just that the leading soft runners have not really worked that much together and haven't really tried or to really run away from them. They know that the biggest gain will be as soon as they pit before the medium runners. They're able to undercut them, and being on much fresher tires, around 9 to 10 lap fresher mediums than them, they will be gaining like 4 to 5 seconds. But then whenever the medium runners come back towards the soft tires, that will equal up again. So that's the beautiful thing about Silverstone. All the entertainment will be towards the end of the race, and it's from now just people playing it strategic, not making any stupid mistakes, and just wanting to drive their own race. You see drivers like Kian Goedendorp being really close behind Thomas Gall, but no real overtakes happening. It is now Jan Halliday trying to go around the outside there of Ries and still making that move really happen. It's an incredible overtake from them there, coming up towards Wellington Straight now and in towards Brooklyn. But indeed, that move seems to be all done. Still up the inside, though. The Williams is still up the inside, but no real move happening there because around the outside and all the tires at Luffield does not work. And you now need to watch out that Legend Rosenberg doesn't profit from it.
Yeah, there's a brilliant move there from Jan to get himself back around the outside at turn 4. Got it covered in towards Brooklyn's. Brilliant there from Jan. We'll see if he can try and make his way any higher through the grid. He's got some brilliant pace so far in this race. Now, looking back at the top 5, we can see Reece Linton's actually caught up very close to the back of Richard Jacobs. That gap being just 0.2 of a second now as they enter in towards Chapel Corner at turn 14. Do we see any moves being made, though?
Look
how quick that race has gained. And we also see at the front as well. We've got Tamas going in. We've got Lekomsky trying to take the lead. Tamas goes to try and take P2 from Max at 2. Championship rivals getting close to contact in towards Stoke Corner. Max still going to go side by side with Lekomsky in towards the next couple of corners. Can Tamas find a move? No, he can't. But Richard Jacobs been overtaken by Reece Linton. That's very good for Reece, isn't it, in this race? Obviously, getting himself now into the mix of the soft runners. He's looking really strong.
It certainly is. Trying to overtake a few soft runners may lead to a little bit of a break in the DRS whenever they decide to pit, which will already be in around 3 to 4 laps. But then you will be trying to run away from a DRS train. The question is if Reece Linton does have the pace for that. We will trying to run away from Tycho Hardy and Joost Noordijk, who will likely be swapping DRS at that moment. But all Reece Linton can do is just easily pick off those soft drivers who are now just starting to struggle more and more on their tires. Once again, this camera shot being beautiful, seeing all the many different lines run, and you also see the overtake happening between Joost Noordijk and Tycho Hardy going side by side. It is incredible racing, giving each other as much room as needed. Now through Luffield around the outside, it is still being held. Now coming up towards Woodcote and Cops. The question is who will use more ERS, who is more desperate to really go in front, and they both use a lot of ERS. They both do not want to yield this position, going side by side through Cops. It is all working well, a hand going up in the cockpit, but it is still surviving, and Tycho Hardy taking that position up towards P6 for him.
Yeah, brilliant there from those two to have a nice clean battle. Obviously, one went wide, but that's normal at Cops. When are you ever going to make it through too wide and make it clean? It's not going to happen, is it, at all? Leonard Pinter also looks to get side by side with Richard Jacobs. He's then going to look to gain in towards Stowe Corner. Can he try and make a move further up? We can see Simon Klumsky again into the back of Max Wiesel. Couldn't find a move. You can see Richard defending for his life from Lenny Pinter now in towards the chicane. Can Lenny send a move? He'll go to the inside line, goes a little bit deep. Richard tries to hook it back up the inside, but a contact. Who's going to make the move done? It will be even more contact as we come through, and that poor camera angle meant we saw pretty much none of it as they head at the final corner. And still Richard Jacobs defending ahead of Lenny Pinter, with Andre Tarabikin there looking to try and gain something in this battle. And surprisingly now, Richard, it's like he's completely dropped off. The pace has gone. He was looking strong at the start, and the rest of the software is also looking quite strong, but Richard has completely dropped back, and that is really not good. Obviously looking for his first points of the season, now dropping back from the field on the soft tyres isn't ideal. Now can Lenny try and launch an attack in towards Brooklands? He's been gaining a lot on the straight this time around, not close enough to try and make a move, but he will be looking to hunt down that move ever so soon, as obviously you can see Richard will eventually start to lose that gap to Tycho, Joost and Reece on the medium tyres ahead very shortly. Now you can see Lenny's got a good exit out of Luffield in towards Woodcote and Carps, but no move's being made there. However, at the front we can see it again, Keane Gondorp getting very close to the back of Tamas Gal.
Yeah, indeed, Kian just wanted to line up a potential move, because in fourth place you cannot really do anything, and he does also see that he does have the brit of Reece Linton behind him, and he has already picked up one of the soft runners, and he wants to get one more because the soft tires are now reaching the first drop-off moment, which really made them suffer because the medium drop-off point comes a little bit later, which I do believe it was like 1 lap later. Simon Lukomsky meanwhile finally taking that race lead away from Max Wiesel, and I am expecting them to swap quite a few more times. Next lap already we can see the first people making a pit stop. I'm expecting Richard Jacobs to indeed go for that lap time, because he desperately needs to do something, and same counts for Black Box. He is all the way down in 17th on the soft tires, struggling, trying to hold on for dear life to not lose all the positions, but it is really not looking all that great for the soft runners as of right now. Maybe not enough drivers that committed to them with the strategy, but you'll really see if it paid out or not at the later stages, because they'll be able to work together as much as possible. But then the question always forms, how much will Max Wiesel and Thomas Gall really work together?
Yeah, they've got to work together, haven't they? As you can see, Max going into the back of Lekomsky. Obviously, these two don't want to work together, the championship roles, but they've got to at some points. Also, like to say thank you to Buka Tax there for the 10 gifted memberships to the channel. Thank you very much. It means a lot to us all over here at PSGL. Right, back with the Baston. We've got Tamas Gal getting in on Max Wiesel, and there. These two need to make sure they don't come to contact, because that wouldn't be ideal. If they came to contact and they scored no points, Tamas would win it, but it'd be under very controversial circumstances, so I don't think that would be going quite well with the stewards. So we'll see what happens within the two. Because again, in also on the back of Mikona Vlikovsky has also been very strong this season. He took pole back in Hungary, was leading for the first row laps before he ended up DNFing at the exit of turn 5, so it did go well for him when he was in the lead. So hopefully today he doesn't make any mistakes in the lead of the race. We can see Max gaining in, doesn't look to make a move. He's going to tuck to the inside. Tamas goes for a bit of a dummy, and he has to back out. That was a close one there between the two rivals as they head down now in towards the chicane. Does Tamas go for a bit of a move? Does he lunge? No, he won't. He'll stick behind. I know he's being a little bit more clever here. He's no point him sending a lunge. He's not playing the Max Verstappen technique. He's playing more of a Lewis Hamilton technique.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, it is two different ways of driving, but Thomas Gall doesn't need to take any risk. He can just play it chill and just hope that Max Wiesel doesn't score the required points needed. Or if Thomas Gall, he only needs 6 points at the end of the day. So if he just ends up in around P6 or P7, I think he should be all good for the championship. But at this moment, that is not what he's thinking about. Thomas Gall just sees what is happening in front of him. Just the two drivers that he wants to get in front of, just constantly swapping. And all he can really do is apply a little bit of ERS to put pressure on them and hope that one of the drivers does make a mistake. But so far, Simon Lukomsky and Max Wiesel have not yet made any mistakes, and they have just been driving onwards and onwards. Phil McKimua, I don't think I noticed it, but he has fully dropped down 3.2 seconds away from the pack, and without any ERS, this race may already be a lost cause for him. He's on the medium tire, so he needs to survive a few more lap times before he can be making this pit stop. But it is indeed not looking good for our Irishman.
Indeed not. Big shame for Theo McKay here in this race so far. Looking back at the front, we can see Max feels like to lose a bit of time in that middle sector there to Lukomsky. He's got a good run though, hasn't he? Down towards Stoke Corner. He's going to look to try and take the lead. He does take the lead easily there from Lukomsky to pop himself into P1. Does Tamas go for P2? No, he can't. He's still stuck behind in P3 there. Right, further back yet again. Olympic Pinter gaining in. So Richard James can't find a move there. He's struggling to get past Bruce needs to, because eventually Risham will start to lose time, and he taps the back of the Mercedes through in towards the chicane. They're braking a lot later than Risham in this current position at the time. We can see further back, we've got Res Imtiaz into the pits off the softs. He's done on those tyres for now, and if it does rain, this could be his race completely over here in Silverstone. Looking further up, we can see that's going to be Schumann gaining in, not enough to make a move. Further back, we've got Holden gaining in on Andrew Trabukin. Goes up to the side at turn 3, but a contact into turn 4 they make. Andre keeps it ahead. Bradley tries to gain in. Further back, we've got Jan Halliday ahead of Liam Stevens. Liam gets the outside line though at turn 4. He makes a move back ahead of the Aston Martin as they head down in towards Brooklands Corner. We've got more moves being made. They've tried to catch onto the back of Bradley. Can Liam go around the outside? Bradley's going to go for it. Has to back out. Can he make it? No, he can't. He's now got Jan to the right-hand side of him as they head through in towards Luffield. Dan's going to get a decent exit out of Luffield. They go side by side towards Cops. That wouldn't be the most ideal scenario for Liam. And no, they won't. I think Liam just about keeps that position just for now, but Jan will be looking to yet again try and make that move back ahead as the laps continue down. But Bradley's also a driver that's looking to be struggling so far at this point in the race. That's not ideal, but he's in P11. It's not the worst scenario. We're just going to try and work with what he can and just try and defend from Liam and Jan behind, because they're very, very quick.
Certainly so, but realistically, everyone on this grid is very, very quick. Jan Halledeg trying to go for a move again. It is side by side, Liam Stevens and Jan Halledeg. Jan Halledeg up the inside. And he seemingly does make that move in Stowe, still side by side though, and eventually does not make that overtake happen. The soft runners meanwhile are in towards the pit lane. And is there any soft runners staying out? No, there is not. Last time round though, we did already see Reese, or Reese, however you pronounce that name, pit already for the medium set of tires. He's using as much ERS as he can because he wants to jump himself all the way from P17 in towards the leading set of medium runners. That is how OP one lap undercut could be. But at the end of the day, that is what he wants, and the only question we'll see will be if he can actually do that. He has been pushing, and you see those drivers out of the pit lane coming slowly and slowly. Will he be able to make that move? Max Wiesel now being let go, already going on throttle. Richard Jacobs, so he will be struggling because he will be falling behind that train as well, and he will be working together with Reese to try to get back in.
Indeed, you can see that Richard comes out 1.5 seconds back from the train. Race Imtiaz within 7/10, so he's gaining. He's also got the warm-up tyres, so Richard might be a little bit of a sitting duck so far to Race Imtiaz as they all fight through. Heads turn 4 towards turn 5, back to the front there. We can see Then we have Snordo looking to gain in on Reese Linton. Obviously, Reese last time out in Miami took victory in the wet weather, won by 7 seconds in the end. It was a brilliant affair from him last time out. We'll see if he can at least try and get himself towards victory here tonight in Silverstone. Down towards turn number 6 in the go at Stowe. Yost is gaining in. Is it enough to make an overtake? No, he sits back for now. Doesn't want to make the move in towards just yet. Not going to burn much of his resources, but it doesn't really matter if he make overtakes now or in the next 5 laps' time. Down in towards the chicane they go, and well, Max Fields has got a 15.7 second gap now to Theo McKee, and then obviously that's about 21 second gap to the rest of the top 13 trains. So we'll see how quickly they can gain that in. And well, if it does rain, this might not ideal. If it doesn't, they can still work with this, and they can still probably get themselves to a decent result. As you can see, Lekomsky takes P15 there from Max Fiesel so far in this race. But either way, Tom, they've got a lot of work to do, haven't they, been this far back from the field?
I mean, yeah, if you look at the weather, it just seems like a perfectly normal day in the UK or in a European climate. Just being very cloudy. You think it's going to rain any moment, and then it doesn't. And as soon as you go outside without any rain protection, it does rain, and it rains a lot. Let's hope for the drivers on that side on the soft set of tyres that it doesn't rain, or that it for them rains all the way towards the end of the session. But looking at up front now, Joost Noordijk, a driver who was driving at like P8 or P7 before the soft ride drivers disappeared. He's now all the way up towards second place, being able to now chill out, and whenever the pit stop period comes, he will always be in a very good situation. So that's why you can maybe start in the middle of the field, and then with a little bit of luck be placed in a very good position. Joost wanting to make up a lot of positions. He's been an amazing driver on a few games back, and he's been recently picking up the pace again and just showing off what pace he has, and now taking the lead from Reese Linton, who's one of the newer guys in this scene. It's just absolutely incredible to see. Tycho Harder, though, one of the champions from PlayStation, is side by side with Reese Linton, trying to fight to see who takes over that second position, but Tycho Harder eventually has to yield back, giving Reese still his second place. But Joost Noordijk in the lead, Reese in second, and Tycho in third.
Indeed, as we can also see, that'll be Andre Torukin gaining in on Lenny Papinta for P4. Max Fiesel yet again trading places with Lekomsky's also. Tamas Gal's getting involved. We'll watch this battling towards Stowe corner now. We can see Tamas Gal going around the outside of the McLaren. Can he make it done in towards the chicane? It's going to be late on the brakes for Lekomsky. Gets the move done. Can Tamas get a bit of a switch back? No, he can't. He went for it, but couldn't do so. Brilliant exit there from Lekomsky to keep himself ahead in P16. They fly yet again down towards turns 1, 2 and 3, and Tamas wants to be as close as he can to his rival Max, but at this point there's still a car between them. Keen Gondup also, he'll be looking to get a podium here today, so if this strategy is the one to go, he'll be looking to get himself ahead of Tamas if he can. And also we can see back towards the top, nothing really happening, is there really, between the top, I'd say the top 13, no one's really making any overtakes, so they're just sticking with each other, trying to pull each other along and try not to lose much time to Fionn and Max all the way down behind.
Yeah, there was just a small overtake between Jerry van Bussel and Sergio Sobrino. They just quickly swapping out positions, but beside that, nothing special really happening. And this is the phase where they just need to work together. It is mediums versus the soft tyres. Likely going to see maybe even a swap again from Reese Linton on the hanger straight, but this time around he just decides to sit behind and just work together. Everyone really wants to save up ERS because they know they will need it for the later stages of the race, and still the weather not really changing. Maybe the sun even coming out a little bit more, indicating that there's likely going to be no rain. But the fact that Fionn McKee is still driving, hasn't retired yet, does make me believe that maybe a small opportunity, but we would have heard it before then. Simon Lekomsky meanwhile trying to get back in towards a leading spot for the soft starters, and he has indeed done so, and he knows that in about 3 laps time everything will be breaking loose, people will be pitting, and I think from lap 15 already it will be possible to go on towards a set of the soft tires. And the question is, who will be doing it first, because I'm sure we will have a few drivers who started a little bit further back from the legend Rosenberg, Louis Wells, Daniel Kauer and Jerry van Bussel range, Sergio Sobrino as well, of course. They will be maybe trying to make a little bit of an undercut, go a little bit earlier to try to jump a few places, because the undercut can be so incredibly strong, especially when you are comparing fresh sets of softs towards like 15 lap old mediums. That difference that will always be there, and that is the reason why the undercut is so strong, especially on this game. No real overcut, which doesn't rarely happen anymore for positions, but if you do make an overcut, the tire advantage that you will have at the later moments in the race will be so incredible that you are able to make a lot of positions up at that moment. So that's a beautiful thing about this game. So many strategies, but the only strategy that these people up front want, for Reese Linton for example, example, is to just take the lead and control it from there, see whatever happens, and live by the moment. And they will certainly not be going in towards the pit lane. Excuse me, they will be going in towards the pit lane. Reese Linton taking the lead and then going on towards the pit lane early. He takes on the undercut strategy, and Lenny Papinta going with him, and a few people indeed that were further back.
Well, with people pitting there, that makes me think that Rainey's not going to be coming at all in this race. Obviously, you can see it's getting, if anything, it's getting more sunnier on the circuit so far. I can see little spots of blue sky as they come through towards turns 1, 2 and 3, so it could be confirmation that it will get more sunny. We can see Tarabuka now looking to try and gain in on that top 2. He's got a 7/10 gap to Tycho Hardy, so he would like to try and gain in as soon as possible. We can see there all those off the mediums will go into a set of softs to take them all the way to the end of the race. And now, where will they come out compared to Rich and Jacobs in P14? It will be, or I suppose we could say Race Empty in P15. They'll be quite far back, won't they, on this train as they head out of turns 1 and 2. They'll be heading towards turn 4. So that gap will be about 6 seconds. So actually, that's quite a close gap. Actually, this could definitely be the strategy to play for, couldn't it? Because I thought they would have dropped down a little bit further than they have.
Yeah, no, certainly not. And you can gain really quickly back on towards a soft set of tyres. It will just be how much Reese Linton and Lenny Papinta will actually work towards each other. It was interesting to me that Joost Noordijk did not follow the strategy of the person that was right in front of him, which was Reese Linton. But Joost Noordijk has been on the ERS, trying to prevent the ERS or the undercut at all costs. And if you just look at the steering wheel, how much ERS he has burnt already, it is quite clear to me that he will be pitting this lap. They've already made a pretty big gap towards André Tarabukin as well, and in towards the pit lane indeed goes Joost Noordijk, Tycho Hardy following him as well. And I think every single medium runner will be in towards the pit lane, besides a few, which, for example, Legend Rosenberg staying out. But everyone else in towards the pit lane. Legend going for an overcut, and I would love to see if he pits in like maybe 2 laps even, making that undercut overcut really work, and maybe we can see something special from him.
Indeed, and with Fionn being that far back, surely he's got to have some sort of damage, because he's lost so much pace, and Fionn's never this slow. You know, he's over a 1.5 seconds a lap off at some point, so there's got to be some sort of issue there with the car or with his equipment, because he's 13 seconds back off Legend Roseberg, who really wasn't even in the lead train that much. So, yeah, big shame for Fionn here in this race. Obviously, we can see now, like Lekomsky and that train behind, down to Rich and Jacobs, all getting in onto the back of the Williams. So we'll see when moves will be made. Obviously, I don't think Fionn and Race talk that much, so I don't think they'll be really helping each other. I don't think Fionn will be trying to hold anyone. I think he's just going to be seeing what can happen, and maybe if there's a safety car, that could save your race a little bit more. Obviously, if that happens, obviously, it's not like at the moment we've had quite a clean race so far, no really big mistakes happening. So, yeah, I think the chance of a safety car is quite low, but further back we can see the gap now between Islington and Race MTS 4 seconds. 1.3 seconds, and the gap between Rishan and Race MTS is 4 seconds. So Race is losing so much time at the moment. This is really not ideal at all for the F7R driver. Only 1 lap older on the tyres. He's losing probably about 5 or 6 cents a lap to Rishan Jacobs here.
Yeah, Fionn, he's certainly having damage. He just has way too much understand. At this point, he is a moving traffic cone. Hopefully, for everyone else, you will be heading in towards the pit lane. Hopefully, for our entertainment, Fionn McKee will be staying out. Meanwhile, Max Wiesel going towards the lead. He's the first person to try to tackle the moving traffic cone. But you can see the Williams indeed putting in towards the pit lane, keeping it very civil between each other. But Max Wiesel back in towards the lead. And the question is now, when will Thomas Gall strike? He knows whenever those soft runners are coming, it will be a little bit more difficult. And when those soft drivers hit the back of the train of the medium runners, you want to be as far at front as possible. You want those drivers to reach you as late as possible. And I think Thomas Gall will be trying to make a desperate move in about 1 or 2 laps, because Reese Linton only being 4.4 seconds back is still a pretty big gap. But look at the gap that the soft runners of Reese Linton and Lenny Papinta have towards the train back a little bit more. Joost Noordijk being 1.6 seconds behind them, so outside of the DRS range, and you do have a black box who may be able to connect the DRS lanes between each other, but that will be the question, and it's something we have to really watch out for. Fionn McKee while picking up a penalty. I don't know if he has changed his wing, but certainly being 14.5 seconds back, he is just hoping for safety covers. Otherwise, his race is completely over, but it already was a few laps before this.
So, a little bit of working out, and if Max was to win this and Thomas was to get third where he is now, technically he would have it, but he wouldn't, because the gap would be 16 points. The gap needs to be 17. So there'd be 1 point, technically. So, even
is it
though...
not on race wins that he wins it already?
No, because if next race, Max was to get the fastest lap and win the race, he'd be 1 point ahead. can see
Gotcha.
Lukomski take the lead away from Max, and now PSGL right with his rival. If Max was to finish second and Tamas was third, it would be over. So further back, that gap now between Oliver Pinter and Richard Jacobs, 3.5 seconds. That gap's coming down quite quickly as the race comes on. We can see that'll be, is that black box into the pits? Yes, it is. So Ray Simtiaz back into the pits now after doing 7 laps on his mediums, retired from the session, so he also could have been suffering from damage because he was also pretty much a sitting duck throughout this race. So that is a bit of a shame there for Ray Simtiaz not to be able to score points on this occasion. Obviously only 3 points to his name so far this season, not an ideal season for him at all here over on the PC platform. Right, back to the top train. That gap yet again between Lenny and Rishan has come down by another 5/10. At this point, nothing can stop the soft runners, they're that quick.
Yeah, I mean, the soft runners will be able to gain and gain more and more, and especially if they keep working together like this, the small train between Lenny and Rees, this duo just constantly swapping DRS is exactly what they need to do to try and get in as soon as possible. And I'm sure both the engineers, I mean, it's going to be like Gregory, who's working against TK or with TK, just trying to see and make as much profit as possible. But the medium drivers wanting to work together as well, which has been impressive, by the way. Rishan Jacobs was all the way back. Did you remember? He was like an 8th or 9th in that long DRS train at the start, and he's worked his way back all the way to the position where he needs to be. But Thomas Gall, seeing that these two guys keep swapping in front of him, he just needs to think of a plan or a place to do it where he won't really expect it. But at Silverstone, you do not have an opportunity to just send it somewhere and surprise your opponent unless you try to do it in the final sector, maybe with Club and Ville in that area, but nothing else will really happen. And you just see those soft runners, Rees and Lenny, working together so beautifully, and behind them you got a massive train of soft runners led by Joost Noordijk, and they haven't really been swapping, but they've just slowly been catching like 2/10 every lap, which just shows that 1 lap difference between the softs will really make a big difference. But I do believe that in the next 1 or 2 laps the softs will be hitting their drop-off point, which means that those soft runners will definitely be catching up fully in the DRS train.
Indeed, we can see now them all going down in towards Brooklyn's corner. We can see as well, and Pinter looking to just stick behind the back of Rees Linton. We've also got lots of Joost Noordijk and that Tiger Hardy train also looking to gain in. That train goes all the way down to P17, so they'll be also looking to get on the hunt and try and get themselves within a second of Lenny and Rees. And we can see Joost Noordijk's got a 9.5 gap, so he's within a second now. So this train goes down from P6 all the way down towards P18. We can see as well Jan Halliday looking to make a move on the outside of Jerry Van Bussel. Couldn't make it in towards Cops. He's very quick so far on these soft tyres. Can he make a move in towards Magnussen Beckett? See if we shoot with him to do. No, he doesn't. He sits back just for now as they all fly through in towards Chapel as well to go down the Wellington Straight in towards Stoke. And that gap between Rees and Rishan, 1.8 seconds. Lukomski takes the lead away from Max Wiesel. Lenny Pinter takes P6 away from Rees Linton as they head down now in towards Stoke corner. This battle's going to get more and more intense. 7 laps to go. It's 1.8 seconds between the leading train and the second train, and well, this race could definitely change hands very quickly.
The question will be, will they arrive on time? Jan Halliday and Jerry van Busselmee will still driving side by side, but through Ville and on the Hamilton Straight, that is all decided. Jan Halliday keeping up his position, and Jerry van Busselmee will losing another position to Bradley Holdham, trying to go side by side through turn 1. The Ferrari having to yield off a little bit, but now going up the inside of Village, making that move stick. There's a little bit of contact there. Louis Welsh colliding there with the back end of Jerry van Bussel, trying to go around the outside now of the loop, and now on towards Wellington Straight, making that move done as well. So Jerry van Bussel trying to make one move, and then as a result of that losing 2 positions, which certainly is not ideal. But now as soon as the soft train has fully bunched up together, the question is, will they maybe arrive too late at the back of that medium train? They only will have 5 to 6 laps to really make all of those moves happen, and as soon as one driver gets caught up, he will likely be losing a lot of positions very quickly. But now the question will be again, when will Thomas Gall make his move? Because he does not want to have all those soft runners right behind him. He needs to make a move quickly, but whenever you're 3/10 back, you really cannot do anything. He's only overtake a little bit, just spamming that overtake button, but that is just still not good enough. You're going to be too far back and unable to make an overtake on Simon Lukomski, and once more, not a successful overtake done by Thomas Gall. Of course, he wasn't trying all of the time, but time will slowly be running out. And the question now will be, will he accept P3, or does he? Because I think certainly he will be having to make some moves, because the soft runners otherwise will be eating him up and make that championship go towards the last round in Bahrain.
Yep, so first and third will still keep it going in towards Bahrain with 1 point separating the two. Well, it would be 1 point max ahead if he was still winning technical fastest lap, ahead of Tamash scoring no points. So it'd be very hard, but it still theoretically would be possible. So we can't rule that out. So Tamash needs to get himself into second. If he finishes second or first, regardless where Max finishes, he wins it. So that is Tamash's goal at this point in the race, second or first. If Max drops back, then Tamash is fine in third. He'd be clearly fine in third. As we can see now, this gap between the soft and medium train, now it's 9/10, so they've got themselves within the second now. This is the time where we'll start to see Reece Linton gain in and make moves quickly. That's what we need to do. We can't afford to sit around because these softs, they're only biding time. They're a ticking time bomb before they lose pace. So they've got to go for it ASAP and make these key moves. You can see Joost, Tycho, Lenny all gaining as well on Reece. Reece got a lot of pressure on him so far to make moves. If he can't make the moves in the train, Lenny and Joost have to get ahead to also try and make moves, otherwise they're getting nowhere in this race. That gap 8/10 now as they head through in towards Chapel Corner, 7/10 as they exit the corner, down towards the Wellington straight, in towards Stoke. Do we see any moves being made by anyone in the train? No, we don't. They all stick in behind each other. Some of them not even opening DRS in towards Stoke Corner in that top train. Richard Jacobs getting into the back of Keane very nicely. Keane getting into the back of Tamash very nicely. Nearly a tap on the back from Mercedes to the Alfa Romeo through in towards that section. We can see we're going board of Reece Linton. Look at that gap now. 3/10, 4/10 as they exit the final corner down towards turn one. Tom, if you was the engineer of Reece right now, where would you be predicting him to finish?
I mean, as an engineer, I wouldn't predict anyone to go. We'd rather give out these shots. But as
Simon? Oh, he's disappeared.
he will just end up behind Thomas Gall in 4th place as of right now. I don't think these soft tires really still have the juice to really make it happen, but only reality will tell. And Reece Linton, as of right now, would like to make those moves happen as soon as possible. And behind him, you still got Lenny Papinto, who wants to profit on it as well. You got Joost Noordijk, who's the first person on fresher softs. And then you still got Legend Rosenberg, who is on 5-lap-old softs, but he is fully at the back end of that soft train. So he tried the overcut, but that strategy is something that we can rule out for today. But Reece Linton being so incredibly close behind, Richard Jacobs up ahead, being within a 10th of a session. You need to watch out that you do not run into the back end of the car ahead here, and they want to just focus on the good exit here, coming out towards Chapel, and now use the overtake and the battery that you have saved up. And now the kills is going to happen. Thomas Gall not making a move then. So who is the first person to make a move? No one's making a move, because everyone burning a little bit of that ERS to maintain positions. And that was what I was saying with the soft drivers. Have they arrived too late? Is it definitely too late? It is not too late to go around the outside though. Reece Linton making an incredible overtake on Richard Jacob. Richard Jacob being a little bit bullied towards the outside, having Lenny Papinto up the inside already afterwards. But Reece Linton finally making that first move.
And we can see Lenny Papinto try and get into the back of the Mercedes. Can he make a move? Is also Richard's going to go back to the inside. Couldn't do it. Has to defend from Lenny. And this camera angle is poor. I can't see anything here. All I can see is Lenny being pushed off track there slightly. Back up the inside. Bit of bullet into Richard Jacobs again. Richard's gone halfway around. That's going to be Ghost going through as well. Can he get two? Out to turn 4 and 5. He'll go to the inside of Lenny Papinto. Now it's Tycho Hardy's turn. Try and make a move ahead of this medium tyre runner in towards Brock as he goes to the inside. Sends it. Richard tries to defend it round the outside. Can't do much there. Has to go back to the inside line now. In towards Luffield. Can he make it work? No, he can't. Back through the head. We can see Lenny and Joost going side by side. Lukomski gets a 3-second penalty. That could ruin his race, or at least ruin any chance of him getting good points here today. As we can see Richard, yet again, they go for a move. All trying to stick to the outside of Tycho Hardy in towards Cops, but a can't tap in a wheel rubbing. Richard can't defend the move, so now Richard down to P9. This is definitely not what he would have wanted, but back to the front we can see Reece Linton gaining in on this train. Can he try and make a move ahead of Keane going up on this occasion, because Keane's also close to Tamash Gall. Can we see any moves anywhere here for P3 or P4 or even P5? Down towards Stowe they go, and well, yet again, no one really trying to make a move. They're all just sticking behind each other in towards his next section. Actually, Andre gets himself ahead of Richard. There'll be one person to make a move. That will be the Alpha, so that'll be the Alpine of Andre. Richard tries to stick it back up the inside, can't do so. Oh, that's a bit of a hop of the club. You don't know that, Richard. That is not ideal, especially for your line. He goes back to the inside. Can he try and get a switch back on Andre? No, he can't. He's stuck behind now. It's Danielson. Can he get himself ahead of Richard's Reece? He's right behind the back of King Gondorp.
Yeah, certainly Reece Linton, though, trying to still make that overtake happen. But that's what I'm saying. The soft drivers have arrived too late and are now struggling. Going up the inside, though, this may be the move that Reece Linton needs to make up some few more position. But it is just a good exit from Kian Goedendorp. And that way, he does protect again his P4. But let's just point our attention to the penalty of Simon Lukomski. This means that currently, Thomas Gall is running in a professional P2, which means that he is the champion. But he can still, a lot can happen. And the question is if Simon Lukomski will be able to remove this penalty afterwards. afterwards. But that is not a scenario that we can go after. Thomas Gall doesn't know. Can he remove the penalty? Yes or no? We do not know either. So I am still expecting Thomas Gall to try to make that move at one of the later stages in the race. He's now very close to the back end of the McLaren. But can he make a move still? Everyone is pretty full on battery, if you can see, on the steering wheel. The question just is, when will something happen up front? Because they've just constantly been swapping around. And certainly someone would like to take the lead and just stay in that position for now. Thomas Gall is on the overtake. This is the moment that it needs to happen. Thomas Gall trying to make a move on the hanger straight, but everyone else using the ERS as well. Simon Lukowski going up the inside of Stowe. He goes on the inside as well. Thomas Gall, we're in a battle with Simon Lukowski and Max Wiest.
Oh, and Tom has disappeared again. Right, so we'll continue on this. Max Wiesel's back ahead of Thomas Gall. Tom has completely disappeared. He's frozen on our screens. So we'll continue on. Thomas back up the inside.
In club.
Simon, you completely went for us then, mate. I'm sorry. We missed the whole battle with you, so I had to try and take over. I'm sorry about that. As we can see, Keane there trying to get ahead of Max. Max goes wide. This isn't good for Max. Max is losing so much time. Keane bats to the inside at turn 3. Max on the inside of Thomas Gall. Can he make the move? No, he can't. He's going to be stuck to the outside line. And now we're going to have Reese Linton up the inside. He's going to be up the inside of Keane. Going up. No move's being made yet. As we can see, Keane get himself back ahead. Reese had a bit of a snap. That's going to lose him time. Let him Pinto now. Looking to make himself ahead in towards P5 if he can. He can't do so there. We're on lap 25 and 26, the penultimate lap of the race. Now all the moves being made will probably be done on the last lap, but still crucial moves can be made on this lap. A look at the whole train. Look how close they are together. Rishan fighting with, I'll be that with Jerry, Bradley and Jan all down behind as well. Rishan completely out the points and well. That's Rishan's points chance over. No points so far for Rishan, and also, I mean, that means he's got no points at all. Earlier I read that Mike said that he won't be racing in Bahrain, so Rishan at this point, no points scored this season. That is a big shame, and well, that's not what he would have wanted at all. Definitely not. But we can see the battle still evolves. Back at the front, Max Wiesel the inside, or at least went for a move on the inside. And Thomas going towards Brook, Max and Beckett.
Yeah, certainly so. Thomas Gall now trying to make that move on Simon Lukowski. Simon Lukowski doesn't have DRS, so a little bit of DRS needing to be used, but he still has Max Wiesel behind him, who tries to make that move happen. But certainly all the drivers are waiting for that final lap to really make a lot happen. Reese Linton, so still stuck behind the back end of the Alfa Romeo, not able to do a lot. And I predicted him being in P4, and that prediction could certainly come out. But even P5 is certainly not the strategy that these soft runners would have hoped for. Thomas Gall is only one lap away from taking the F2 championship.
Yeah, 1 lap to go. Lap 26 and 26, round 10 of the championship. Thomas Gall, well, he's got what? About 15 more corners before he can take the championship lead. Obviously, Lukowski got that penalty. He did send the chat that it could be removable there. Franak did tell us in the chat. So, but either way, it doesn't matter. We have to read off what we can see at the moment. Simon's got a 3-second penalty. He'll drop down completely. And Max will be in second. Tamash will be in first, and Keane in the top 3. Tamash is gaining. Someone's had a bit of a yellow flag. That'll be Theo McKee slowing down. As Max goes inside, Tamash can he make the move in towards Brocklands? That's a bit of a late send there from Max. He's going to use some of his battery. He's going to try and go around the outside if he can. In towards these next few corners. He's going to be side by side towards Cops. The two championship rivals are going to be very close to contact. We've seen this before between Lewis and Max, and this time they still go side by side. Max is a little bit too far back though on this occasion, can't make the move in towards Cops corner. Now time to defend for his life. Now down towards Stowe corner. Lukowski's got a 5-10 gap. I think he's clear at the moment with that P1 position provisionally on the circuit, but views now on Max Wiesel. He's going to be trying to get in to Thomas Gall. 2/10 in the gap as they enter onto the Wellington straight for the final time. I don't think Max can get in. I don't think he can. I think this might be it here for the championship here in F2. Thomas Gall in towards Stowe. Can't make the move, but Max also can't make the overtake here. Sergio Spino's out on circuit, but Thomas Gall, what a season it has been. 5 victories. He's going to make it 6 here if the penalty does stand for Lukowski, but Thomas Gall will round the final course to win the championship here in PC F2 at season 35 PSGL. Thomas Gall, congratulations.
Certainly so. An absolutely incredible drive. Thomas Gall making the move whenever it was needed, making the right choices at the right moment like he has done all season long. 6 race wins, absolute dominance. And just deciding the championship 1 race before the end is exactly what you want to see in PSGL. Thomas Gall, your new PlayStation, PC F2 champion. I have to make that transition myself still a little bit. Max Wiesel, though, did all he could today, ending up in 2nd place just behind his championship rival. And indeed, going for that move up the inside of Brooklands was exactly what he needed. He tried all he could, but at the end, it unfortunately for him didn't happen. Kian Goedendorp, though, ending up in third position, really showing off that soft strategy to start on really helped out. The first person that started on the mediums is Reese Linton up in fourth place, and you got Lenny Papinta as well, putting in a good shift. Reese and Lenny working together for the full race, pretty much just gave them a very good result at the end. Let's see if Phil McKee can still do the fastest lap. He drove with damage all race long, like Leo Risotto, Veloci Academy manager, did confirm, but he comes to the line, does indeed set the fastest lap. Congratulations, Fion. You did also get your screen time here. But Thomas Gall, your new champion.
Brilliant. He tried it in season 34, couldn't do it. Season 35, he will take it. Brilliant. I couldn't be much happy for him at all. I know last season he said he wanted it this season. He was going to push hard. He said multiple times throughout the championship in the early stages he was going to push for it. He was going to go for that championship. And well, Max couldn't do anything. But anyway, hats off to Max either way, because he's been with Tamas the whole season, right behind. He's always been pressuring the back of the Alpine this season, but it will be Tamas Gall who takes victory yet again here in the championship to also claim the championship title, ahead of Max Wiesel in second, ahead of Keane Goldnup in third, and these three have been the most consistent on the podiums. Keane Goldnup with his third place of the season, still couldn't take a second or first. As we can see, Reese Linton as well in the top four for his second race in PC. F2, we have Lenny Papinta in the top five, Jost Uldork in sixth, Taika Hardy seventh, Lukomsky 8th, and then we have Tariq in 9th, and Daniel Corr in the top 10, who started then in P18, so brilliant there from the S7R driver indeed. Then we have Liam Stevens in 11th, Ledger Roosevelt 12th, Richard Jacobs 13th, Bradley Holden 14th, Jerry Van Bossel 15th, Louis Welch in P16, Jan Hurday 17th, Phil McKee with the fastest lap in P18, and unfortunately we did lose Sergio and Ray Suntiaz throughout the race, but what a finale that was. Well, not finale, it was finale for the championship, but we still got one race next week, remember, over at Bahrain. But Tom, and that was a brilliant race, wasn't it? You said earlier that Silverstone's boring. I could not say that that is true at all.
I mean, everyone has their opinions, but this grid certainly proved me wrong. It was an absolutely incredible race, and I am fairly sure that Simon, his penalty will be removed, so I think we should get a word from him, Thomas Gall and Max Wiesel. But if his penalty does get removed, it still does not make a difference towards the championship. Second place is good enough for Thomas Gall, and Max Wiesel needed to outscore Thomas with 6 points either way. So Thomas Gall, in any scenario possible, unless he gets a penalty somewhere, will be your new champion. Absolutely incredible drive from the Hungarian, proving himself time after time after time, and hopefully we can get a word from him.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can get a word from the top three on the circuit, which would have obviously been Tamas, Max, and Kian. Let's see if we can get any of them in. Normally have at least one or two of them in the commentary box. It would be nice to see at least. It would be nice to at least see our championship leader in here, or championship winner. And well, the chat is not too happy at all. In Discord with some of the moves being made by some people. Many people not happy at all. Right, we're going to see if we can get anyone in. But it was absolutely brilliant, that was. And also, I don't know why on the camera screen I'm so orange or red. I'm never normally this colour at all. Even my arms are red for some reason. I don't know what's up with the light in there at all. The light's on. It's never normally this colour, so I think I must have clicked something by accident and made myself a completely different colour to what I actually am. But yeah, we're still waiting for someone to come into the interview room. We got Tamas Gall. We'll drag him in very short. We'll move ourselves to the interview screen and we'll get a word with our championship winner. And there he is. So, Tamas Gall, welcome in.
Hello.
The start of the season, I asked you if you could go for it. You said maybe, we'll see. Well, round 10, one round before the end of the championship, and you took it. Well done. So, have you got any words?
Not much, to be honest, because when I saw the penalty of Simon, I basically knew that the championship is basically on. Like I knew that when he got the penalty, I would basically get it.
Yeah. Well, the penalty could get removed, but either way, you're still going to be finishing in second, and second or first would have been enough for you to take the championship anyway. So, either way, brilliant job. This race, what kind of happened? Because it was a bit all over the place, wasn't it, for many drivers?
Sorry again? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
No, it's all right. In this race, what happened for you? Because it was quite all over the place, wasn't it, for many drivers?
I don't know. Like the track was a bit different than in practice. Like it was little bit less. Like the overall distraction of the cars were a bit different compared to practice, and I think that's just because of overcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, also quality, no comment. I was like 3.5 tenths of my PB or something. But yeah, I mean, I still won again, and P3 in quality was still decent to fight for the win, and on I don't know, like 3 or 4 laps ago, like like on lap 22 or something. Max basically just almost spun on his own. Like I didn't understand. I thought that I hit him, but like fortunately I didn't. I didn't hit him, so that was good. But I mean, overall ERS management, the tire management was very important. But I don't know, like the whole race, Kian was literally spamming ERS. I don't know what his strategy was there, but yeah, I mean, I still won the race. I won the championship. Mission done.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant race, and obviously the championship-wise, obviously going through the season, you talk, I think 6 or 7 victories. I can't remember now. I can't keep count. You definitely can't count them on one hand, that is for sure. So I think it is, yes, the 5th victory. So, well, brilliant. I don't think anything else could have gotten any better for you this season. Obviously, some of the results weren't ideal, but I think either way, I think it didn't really matter, did it, towards the end. Now, next season, what are your plans?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I will do F2. I don't know. I will definitely do F1 as a reserve if I have a seat for that. But we will see with F2. I don't know if I can even race in it because, for example, in F1 22, when you won the championship, you couldn't sign up for F2. So
maybe not.
I don't know. We will see. If I can, then I will sign up. Of course, because I just love racing and practicing, and you know my mentality though.
Yes, definitely.
Usually, and yeah, we will see.
Well, Tamas, thank you for joining us. And well, if we do see you next season, we'll see you next week. Well, no, we'll see you next week. Are you racing next week? Actually, one quick thing.
I am.
Yeah. So, well, we'll speak to you next week anyway. So, yeah, we're not going to say farewells just yet. So, thank you for joining us. Well done on the championship. We'll see you again next time. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And now,
and GG on Max.
GG, Thomas. To the
so
championship also.
Thank you.
the grandpa himself. Hello, Max. And even though at your old age you couldn't quite take it, could you?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it was not bad, I think. I wasn't. I mean, I was a bit unlucky. If you are like in P1 all the time, I was hoping for a bit more carnage, especially with the soft runner. But yeah, at the end, maybe I did one mistake that I wasn't pushing on purpose. The penultimate lap, I think, was it? And was because I thought it's enough to stay ahead. But then at the end, yeah, DRS and also ERS just make a way too much difference the last like 50, 100 meters. Yeah, and that got me in a position I didn't expect to be. So, and from this on, yeah, I know I need to overtake Thomas to get a salmon on the Hanger Straight, but yeah, it's not that easy as it maybe sounds. So it's a bit unlucky. Quali was good. I choked the P2 in the last sector, but yeah, definitely take it. A good lap, especially for just a second run. So that was good for staying P2 in the championship, I think, and yeah, not bad at all.
Indeed, and I was going to say something, but I completely forgot what it was because I was reading the chat and it went completely out of my mind. But I know, I remember it, there we are. So it says so unprofessional. But next season, obviously, Tamas, if he wins, I don't think he can sign up again. But you, I know you can because Mirko did for this season. So will you sign up again next season?
To be honest, I don't think so. Because I just run out of time with my private life at the moment. As you know, what's going on over the Christmas time, so which is positive, but it's not positive for my gaming hours, I would say. I checked the last time I was on like 26 hours the past 2 weeks, and that's sometimes like when I'm on free, when I have some free time, it's like 4 or 5 days. So I don't think I can hold like the.
Oh, Max. Is he gone?
Just do some team events for TF10. So.
Well, I didn't quite get what you said because you cut out, but all I heard was TF10. So I presume that means team events, yeah?
Is my connection so bad or what?
No, it's Discord. It's been bad all
okay.
day.
No, I just said maybe I plan to do more or less team events, and if I prefer a track, I mean I need to speak with Connor, so I can't put me like reserve and never driving and get a ban or something. So I need to speak with him. But the plan is more or less not having the fixed dates, you know. If there's something private, I just can choose whatever I want to do and don't need to say with 34 years I have to play with kids. So yeah, that's the problem. So
well, I'll see you again next time, Max. If you're racing back again in Bahrain, if you're not, then I'll see you somewhere surely.
Yeah, we will go for Bahrain next week. No worries.
Right, thank you for joining us, Max, and we'll see you again next
Mate,
time. Goodbye.
have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye. Right, so Tom, are you still there? Because I noticed you've disappeared.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Right, we're going to be back to the camera screen. I'll speak to Fion afterwards. Sorry, Fion. We'll speak to you after the stream. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here now. Right, intermission screen. There we are. So I'm sharing Discord. That is not ideal. And I've just shared a picture of a drunk man in a wheel racing on F1. I don't know if they're trying to imitate who that was, but it must have been someone. Simon, closing words.
I mean, for me, thank you for everyone watching and having the opportunity to do PCF2. A little bit of a step up compared to PlayStation. And besides that, just a massive congratulations to Thomas Gal for the championship. Certainly deserved. As someone who has been watching pretty much every week, he's been driving phenomenally, and he certainly deserved it. Also, Max, we saw putting in hard work and effort, likely to be getting second place. It's been an incredible race, and I would like to thank all of you guys for watching, and then Nathan could have the real final words.
Yes, well, thank you also, Tom, for joining me alongside today. Unfortunately, Sappy wasn't able to make it due to Discord bugs. How fun. So he's off, I think, in F4 currently. So at least he didn't miss out on some action. He managed to still commentate over a British Grand Prix. But going into the race, it was brilliant. Obviously, Tamas did come away with it. Very congratulations to him for taking the championship. Obviously, Maxwell in second and Keane, who will easily, I think, be taking third at this point. Well done to those three. And hopefully we can see at least a couple of them next season. Obviously, we're back again for Bahrain next week at the usual time, 8 p.m. British time. So that'll be 9 p.m. European time, and wherever else. I don't know what the time zones are. Search it up on Google, you'll find it either way. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you then next week. Bye.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. All here is through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.